And when you spend the time with these people who are right for your company, you will benefit tenfold. Not only will you get a higher level of productivity, you will get a higher level of happiness and pleasure in your company. You've gotten great at divine working, but what about divine living? Welcome to the Divine Living Podcast. I'm your host, Gina DeVee. You're not alone in wanting more, and here at the Divine Living Podcast, you can expect to be part of conversations from women like us who unapologetically dream big and are obsessed with manifesting our most fabulous lives. The conversation starts now. Today's topic is how to expect more and less out of your team. How exciting is this topic, right? Because if you don't have a team, you're only a solopreneur. And I can tell you that as a solopreneur, it just about killed me. So I highly recommend moving from solopreneur to business owner to company owner. And really getting yourself set up for leverage, for success, for impact, for bringing your mission out there globally in a really big way, not to mention all your cool, fun programs and products and books and speaking and all that exciting stuff that you want to do. But you are not going to be able to do that if you don't have an A+ team. So here's all my tips on team leadership and team management. Number one, even the B players will take you down. You have no idea how powerful mediocrity is. And I'm not even talking about like the negative Nellies that show up on your team and you're like, who hired her? You're like, oh, it was me. And how did she get here and why? Desperate hires don't work, but I'm telling you, even a B player will take you down. So you have to be so relentless and so clear on what your company culture is and only hire on culture. Only hire the people that get your vision, that get you, and are ready to show up and work. And for us here at Divine Living, play, have fun, be super effective. And you have to be someone that we'd like to go out to dinner with. Just saying, it's part of our culture. It's my company. I get to create whatever mandates I want. So anyways, well, I have learned throughout the years, and again, I have made so many mistakes in this department where I have expected too much from team members, and I have also expected too little from team members. So we're going to clear up all of that today. Now, expecting the too much. Let's talk training. I know that you have so much on your plate. I know that you are living, eating, breathing, sleeping your company, your vision, your brand, everything that you desire to put out there in the world. And you've gotten so great at it, you believe that nobody else could do anything in your company as good as you. And it's just not true, to be honest. And even the things that no one's ever going to be as good at them as you're never going to grow and be who you want to be if you don't get great at training. And I used to have way too short of a fuse in this department. I was like, why can't people just get it? Well, because they haven't been living and eating and breathing and sleeping divine living for as long as I have. They showed up like 2 days ago. So there is a mentality that you need to switch from being that entrepreneur, let's do it, let's get it done now, to slowing your roll and actually having a conversation and training your people and creating systems so that they know how to do their best job. And what I have found is that when mistakes happen or things don't happen the way you desire them to, it's not because anybody showed up and was like, I'm going to try and F this up today. It's because they didn't know better, because they weren't properly trained. And I know that you think they should have known, but they didn't and they don't. And who's the most upset person right now? You. So the way that I found to reverse this is to make sure that when I hire, I'm hiring the A players, I'm hiring on culture, which makes the training so blissful, so valuable, and so enjoyable. And this is the part that I mean where you need to expect less from your team members at certain junctures. Until you have properly initiated them into your company, properly train them, properly set up goals or whatever metrics are important for them to meet, or systems, whatever flow is important in your company, you need to expect less in that way, because now this is on you to train. And when you spend the time with these people who are right for your company, you will benefit tenfold. Not only will you get a higher level of productivity, you will get a higher level of happiness and pleasure in your company. And I know that you care about that as well. Even the highest Capricorn out there in the world that's like, I just want shit done, I just want stuff done. You care about it being done in a fun way. And if you don't care about that, then you don't know how good it can get. Because I've experienced the worst and I've also experienced the best. This high level of productivity, this high level of fun, this creative synergy where my team has now created this dynamic where all of us are smarter than one of us. It's not just me and my vision, because I know that God's going to speak through any one of us equally at any given time, because we've opened up the space for that. So there will never, ever, ever be a good time to stop, slow your roll, and train people. Won't ever. They say there's never a good time to have a baby, never a good time to start a business. There is never a good time to train someone on how to do something that you can do in your sleep. If you have a thriving, growing startup entrepreneurial business, there's never not going to be 20,000 things that you need to be doing to move your dreams forward. And I will tell you this, you will never get to those dreams unless you create the habit of stopping. Now, my team knows this about me. It can be at the seemingly most inopportune time, whether it's at a live event, we're about to do a full day of shooting, we're in a launch, but I have learned that time and space, it never shows up. So there really is no time like the present. So I will stop everyone. I'll say, come on, let's huddle. Here's what I want to talk about. Here's what I want to train you on. Here's what I want to show you. And I always back it up with the why. So if I want something done in a certain way, I will explain why I want it done that way, or why it's important that this be done in this time frame. And the other thing that's really important is ask them. Ask them if something's not going right, what were they thinking? And not what were you thinking? Really, what was your thought process on this is why you selected this whatever action. You will be amazed and you will learn so much, and you might even find some better ways to do things. The other thing that I've really gotten the habit with my team is I ask their opinion constantly. What do you think? How do you feel about this? What do you want to see? Because this really is an organization that is committed to women's empowerment and divine living. So it's not just about me anymore. Once you get to this place, these people that have valuable insight, artistic creative ability, linear logical thoughts that you probably don't have, it can get so good and so fun. So don't make the mistake that I saw a friend of mine make recently. She just hired someone new. The poor woman was 2 days in on the job. My friend was flying off the handle because she wasn't getting what she needed fast enough or in the right way. The woman hadn't been trained, and she deserved to be trained. So take the time to train your people. Now, once you've trained your people and you've set up guidelines and expectations, then that's when you can start to expect more. And this is another mistake I made, because I used to get, let's say, emails in my inbox and it'd be Gina, approve this mailer. And I would go and look at it, and let's say I wasn't really feeling it, I didn't really love it, and the picture wasn't blown away with the copy. My old way would have been go and fix it, do it myself. And what I've trained myself now to do is just to send it back and say, I need a sexier subject line. I don't like this picture. I'm not really feeling the emotion. And that's where you can send it back to your team and expect more from them. There's even a few things in my company that I don't even let it get into my inbox unless 3 other people have seen it, and not only seen it, looked at it, and signed off on it that this is what they would love. So this is where you can start to really then expect more from the people around you, where you don't have to be leading everything, doing everything, responsible for everything. You can encourage a higher level of responsibility out of these amazing A players. And let me tell you something, an A player will thank you. An A player wants to use their gifts and talents too. An A player wants to leave their footmark in this also. An A player wants to be challenged. They want to grow, and they know they're not going to grow if they're not feeling stretched. So you can stretch your A players once you've trained them. You can expect more. You can set boundaries. You can say no, and your A players will rise up even higher. So this takes practice. You get to develop your own style with it. It is much more of an art than a science. However, I promise you that if you take the time to train your A players who you have hired on culture, and then also expect the best from them, you and they will be very, very happy. All right, Queen, did you love this episode and know someone who would love it too? I would love for you to leave a review on iTunes and share this podcast over Instagram. Tag me at Gina DeVee. And thank you for Queens supporting Queens and for your continued support.